This weekend, Kanye West was escorted out of the Grammys after showing up after not being invited. Just like the Reps escorted Josh Allen out of the AFC Championship after he was not invited to this year's Super Bowl. Welcome to the Moonstamp Cast. I am Jordan. This is the Premier League Goal Line Tech to my NFL Reps Union. Brian, how are you doing?
We're doing all right. We had a week off last week because we both had a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But good to be back.
I'm very happy to be back. I was found I'm allergic to penicillin. That was a fun little ER trip. And so, yeah, I'm happy that we're back in action and ready to talk about sports again, because we have a lot to talk about. First of all, just context. Neither of us really watch the NBA. It's just not our thing. I've talked about how I love college basketball. I actually went to 2 games this week. It was awesome. Saw 2 top ranked teams. Did say top ranked in the AP top 25. But we don't really watch basketball. With that said, on Saturday night, I'm still thinking about the Luka trade to this day. I'm still lost by it. There's not been one singular good explanation. And the more I hear about it, the more I think that Rob Pelinka groomed Nico Harrison. Like they were in a coffee shop somewhere, and he's just like, "You're just such a mature GM for your age." Because everything that comes out is like, he talked him down from not a good trade. It's not a good trade. They talked him down from like at least something to just nothing. So I'm still like flabbergasted.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories out there about why they did this trade. 1, they were just fed up with Luka's shit. 2, they want to tank the shit out of the team and turn the fans against them so they can move the team to either Austin if they can get Texas legislation to approve a casino built, or they want to move the team to Vegas. Are the 3 big stories. Mm-hmm. So
the thing with the Vegas thing is that that's not going to happen because the Adelsons are basically out of Vegas. They're actually really big in Macau now. They don't have a single, so there's no Venetian anymore. I don't know anything about it. I've never been to Las Vegas. Don't really plan to anytime soon. But the Venetian is gone. That's what they own. There's the Venetian Macau. So they have something in Macau. They have like 5 casinos in Macau. But I have not heard the Austin theory yet. So I'm glad. I just want to say, as Houstonians, anytime bad things happen in Dallas, I feel like we won. And given that we had to face our biggest fear, which is Dallas being good in the sport we're actually good at, which is baseball for a singularly year. And now we're back to them not only being bad, but also being like really bad and also making really stupid decisions.
Yeah. You know who's the biggest winner out of all this outside of LA?
Who?
The Dallas Cowboys. Because Jerry Jones is just like, great. All sports press, negative sports press from Dallas. There you go. Thank you for that softball. So he's made out like a bandit.
Yeah, here's the question. When can Nico Harrison go to the grocery store again? Because it's not right now. I don't think that man can show his face in Dallas for at least a year, if not more. Because Luka, so I'm one of my friends, her fiance is a big Luka fan. Like big Dallas, loves Dallas Mavericks, but loves Luka. And so I texted her on Saturday night, and I was like, "Hey, I'm praying for you tonight. I'll pour an Eastern European beer out for my homeboy." And they didn't answer that entire night. They were asleep already. She woke up and he's like, "Yeah, he's crying today." So yeah, no, it's again, when something bad happens to Dallas, it's relatively, let's not like, I don't want like a national disaster there, but like when something bad happens to Dallas sports wise, I feel like we win a little bit just because we're haters of Dallas for a multitude of reasons, including, the whole hurricane thing. But I don't know. He hates Luka. He hates Luka with a passion.
The good news is HEB. Do those savages have HEB up in Dallas? Bad. If they do, they don't deserve it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's all over Texas at least.
That was a joke.
Never mind. I pulled a Joe Rogan there. Just missed your joke.
They don't deserve HEB if they do have it, but luckily they deliver, so he can keep his nose out of a grocery store so he doesn't get pelted. But I don't know, man. That was one of the worst trades. Listen, as Houston Texans fans, we have one of the best trades ever, and it's looking really bad for Cleveland about the Deshaun Watson thing. That trade just looks better and better. If Luka wins another championship in LA, or if Luka wins a championship in LA, another one for Braun, it's going to look like trash.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to bring up the DeAndre Hopkins trade as one of the worst of all time. Because that was bad. That was a bad trade.
Bad.
I was going to say, this is a historically bad trade to where, like, I listen. We don't watch a ton of the NBA, but I know there are a couple guys you just would like. Jokic is never going to be traded. Giannis is never going to be traded. Luka's never going to be traded. SGA is never going to be traded.
Well,
yeah. And now Luka's been traded, and I remember I was in my kitchen at like 11 o'clock, and I opened Twitter, and I was like, "You've got to be!" I like yelled. I was like, "What?" Because they just like again, we have spent 5 minutes talking about this trade, and we don't watch the NBA because it's historically bad. This may be the worst trade of all time. Because Luka was the guy who not only did he love the city, Dude Perfect released like a sad emotional goodbye video. I've never seen a Dude Perfect video on my TikTok.
Dude Perfect is Dallas based?
Yeah,
fuck Dude Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they also went to A&M. I know, just racking
just
up
the worst people.
Just racking up everything. I actually would talk to send thing to say about A&M in our college basketball segment, but it was like Luka was the guy you were supposed to build the entire team around. The last season of Dirk was the first season of Luka. It was like this perfect storybook ending where Luka was the new guy. As Ryan Russillo put it, I don't care if he's smoking a cigarette and bringing the ball up. I'll take a step farther. I don't care if he's doing crack in the locker room. He still brought your team to not only a Western Conference Finals, also an NBA Finals. And that's a guy who's like, quote unquote, over. He's 276.6. It's like, okay, come on.
And he's a top 5 basketball player in the NBA, and he's 25 years old.
Brian, I tell us where it says top 3. I think
he's 25 years old.
If he can go, like, there was that picture of him, I think it was before playing the Lakers, maybe at some point in the playoffs last year, where he had maybe 2 years. He was on a beer in LA like a couple hours before the game. Still went and did a good job. If he can do, first of all, Eastern European jeans, they just get it. It's like Irish jeans. You can just drink and be fine. I don't care if that man is smoking crack cocaine like Hunter Biden. Okay. I will let that man
use this as a clip.
I mean, I can just cut that out because last time we mentioned Hunter Biden, we got in trouble. We got shadow banned, but I don't care if that man is beating everyone. I don't care if he's pulling Draymond and Jordan Poole. All right. If he's beating everyone on that team, let him play. He's just that good. He's top 3. If you want to make I will take top 2 even if you want to make a argument that he's better than SGA. I don't care. He's top 3 at least. And that's just, and listen, AD has brittle bone disease. Max Christie is Max Christie, and only one first rounder. I think it's 2029. I don't think Nico Harrison should be allowed at any Texas institution and I mean that as like, I hate Dallas. And at that same point, I don't think he should be allowed at HEB, Shipley's. I don't think actually they think they have Shipley's up there. Thank God. Or like any other Texas institution.
Yeah. Fuck them. Couldn't happen to a better city, right?
Yeah, couldn't happen to a nicer city. It's like that in New York. Both every time the bad things happen, except it's more like the Yankees than it is the Mets. I don't care about the Mets that much.
I have no problem about the Mets.
Yeah,
I really don't.
It's they're like I don't know. They feel like the Giants, but they're actually New Jersey.
So the one thing I will say about the Mets, why I kind of are okay with them winning anything, is that it's not as bad as the Red Sox winning something for the Yankees fans, but it's pretty damn close. Yeah. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend in this case, or in this case, the enemy of my enemy can win a little bit and make them sad. Let's move on to baseball. Just a couple things. Actually, one big thing. Scott Boras and Bregman apparently no longer talking to the Astros. I have a whole thing about how I think Scott Boras is actually terrible for his clients because he overestimates the market a lot and screws them where they won't sign until like March, which is never good because baseball's back this month. But I don't like Scott Boras. I think he's bad for baseball. I think he's bad for sports. I don't think either of us have any hope Bregman's was coming back, and I think this should seal the deal.
No, I don't think. I think he's gone. It's been up and down for the past 2 weeks. I think the offer is still on the table. Actually, I think the Astros have left the offer on the table. If I'm Jose Altuve and you said you wanted one thing done, you told the Astros get it done. The Astros have laid out a fair, in my opinion, a fair contract for what the player he is, especially because he's not finding anything better out there. This is also on his shared agent. This is on Boras too. So Boras promised Bregman the world, and I hope no matter what happens, Bregman decides to move on from Boras, and Altuve goes, "You fucked this up too," and moves on from Boras. It's not going to happen, but it would be sweet and hilarious if it did.
How long is what's Altuve's contract? Because he signed one not too long ago. What do you know? How long he's here for at this point?
Until he's 39.
Okay, he's what 34, 32,
Altuve
34,
age.
34?
He's 34.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, he's not going anywhere for a while. I don't think he'd leave anyway, but just
No. Altuve is an Astros for life. Astros for
he'll
life.
retire.
I think when if he's like one season away from like he needs 100 hits to get to 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy if he was 100 hits to get away from 4,000. But if he's 100 and he's like going to be 39 or going to be 40, I think he'll be like, I'll take a team friendly deal. I just want to get my hits.
Yeah.
And I think he would have no problem telling Boris to go fuck himself at that point.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm happy with. So, Altuve, please never leave. Second thing, the Hooks rebranded. It sucks. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like minimalist. It's just, they had a fun logo with that shrimp or whatever. And now just like some minimalist Microsoft bullshit. So, I don't know whoever the design firm or like marketing firm that works for the Hooks.
Are they still the Hooks?
They're still the Hooks. It's just the logo sucks. It's not that big of a deal. I think Space Cowboys is one of the best rebrands of all time. It just is a cool name and also works for the city. But it's just stupid. Last thing, Scott Hoberg got fired from the MLB for betting, or not betting, but sharing a betting account.
Why are you sharing a betting account? Is my biggest question. If you want all and every scrutiny away from like any shot at not being influencing games or anything, have your own betting account and make it clear that all your receipts are NBA and NFL related and you're only doing it in the off season or whatever. Why the fuck would you put yourself at risk sharing a gambling account with someone that's betting on baseball, betting on games that you're in?
No.
That's a shoot. Like there's like some, but he's a really good umpire. Like, because he is, statistically he is. He's a really good umpire. And he wasn't influencing games, and he didn't place any of the bets. It doesn't matter. Why would you put yourself in that position?
The problem is he only influenced games by making them better because he was a great. I mean, there's that 2022 World Series with the Astros and the Phillies where he was 100 for 100 or 100 and 100. It's like 96% something correct. It was. I mean, he's just a great. I know he's gone. He's left us, thank God. But if Angel Hernandez had been betting, like if this had been Angel Hernandez, I'd been like, oh yeah, no, we should actually, send him to jail, send him to Guantanamo. But now because it's this guy Scott Hoberg, who again, every time I see one of those scorecards, Scott Hoberg has never led me astray.
He's nailing it.
Brian, do you want some betting stats though?
Sure.
Okay, so he bet $222,000 over the course of the account. He is lost, which an aggregate loss of $21,000. So he actually wasn't even good at that. Apparently, he put all his points into being a good umpire.
He bet $22,000.
$222,000,
and he's only down 21,000.
Yeah.
It's actually not horrible.
Well, yeah, but he's gone now. I think I saw something he can be reinstated in a year. He won't, just because this looks so bad.
No,
but,
I don't think they'll reinstate him.
Yeah. Also, like, can you even share a betting account? So I'm pretty sure you have to sign up.
Share a password. Okay. I guess. I don't know why you'd ever share a betting account. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Other than if you're trying to not get caught, which. I mean, yeah, he at least he understood the optics of it all, but he was a great umpire. So Scott Hoberg, to speak your name, I don't know, I don't know. If he's that good of a ump, maybe he can be a good ref. Just go be like a NBA ref or something. They're okay with that. Speaking of basketball, I want to talk about college basketball. It's been a second since we talked just because I was out with stuff. I had mouth surgery, and then turns out I don't know how to not be allergic to things that no one's allergic to. I mentioned I went to 2 college basketball games this week. I went to Rice versus Memphis, which was actually a really fun game. Wasn't supposed to be. I need to say something real quickly. Rice Owls, whoever runs the music at your whatever, like the field house or whatever it's called, Tudor Field House, should be fired immediately because every time there was any sort of stoppage in play, they would blast music as loud as possible. And it made me go crazy. Like when it's like, Mason, the numbers, what do they mean? Mason, the numbers from Call of Duty. It felt like I was like, well, Jordan, what does the music mean? What does the music mean? It was so loud and overbearing. I was losing my mind. I just want to do some highlights while we're here because there's a lot to talk about. Auburn, really good at basketball. The number one team in the country makes sense. I don't think they're going to win the national championship, though, mostly because I don't think an SEC team will win the national championship this year. Long story short, Maybe, but like the thing with the tournament is you want a slower pace of play, and SEC teams have a pretty high pace of play. And what happens as well when they play the SEC only is they get worse at defense because you really don't play much defense in the SEC. A&M is, I think they were 295th in field goal percentage. They are 303rd in 3-point percentage in the in D1. They're like 230th in free throw percentage, and they're 13th in rebounding, and they're the number 10 team in the nation. So if you can just play some defense and rebound well in the SEC, you'll be fine. Even if you are like A&M and can't shoot literally, I think I may be able to go shoot the ball better, and I can't shoot the ball. Shout out also to Rick Pitino at St. John's. St. John's is also killing it in the Big East right now. Rick Pitino, I'm sorry for any slander I've ever said about you. He did say that when he watches his guys shoot free throws, he wants to kill himself.
That was an amazing interview.
I love him.
Oh my God.
The thing with Rick Pitino is like, he's just like genuinely likable. Like unlike Dan Hurley, who is genuinely unlikable as a person, Rick Pitino he's really intense, and he has maybe done some bad things. At the same time, he's going to go do an interview. He's like, yeah, I want to kill myself watching my players, which I love. Houston, my love, my team. It's hard to watch them sometimes because they really don't have much chemistry this year. They're still, I think, the number 6 team in the nation. Maybe they've dropped. I haven't checked the AP poll this week. They played Kansas when it was like 2 Saturdays ago. It was, I don't know if you ever saw any of those highlights. They had to go to overtime, which they were down, I think 10 going to like the last minute or something. So it's something crazy. And then in the overtime, the first overtime, because there were 2, the first overtime, they were down 6, with 18 seconds to go, and Kansas was up to the free throw line. Houston ended up winning the second overtime. It was a great game. It may have been my game of the year if we hadn't played Texas Tech, who then beat us in overtime. And I kind of was like, well, I'm going to give them. Yeah. Well, also, at the Tech game, their top scorer and assister had been thrown out for a flagrant 2. Wasn't a flake. He basically just jumped and like kind of kicked his leg out, wanted to pass the ball over his head to the other side of the paint. And he kicked Joseph Tugler in the balls. And, obviously that hurts. And, I feel bad for Tugler. No one was calling for him to be ejected at all. And the refs called a flagrant 2. And everyone's like, okay, like, sure, whatever. And Texas Tech shot the best game of their life. I mean, like, they were shooting like 70% from 3. It was crazy. With that said, Texas Tech fans fucking suck. Yes. Yeah.
I've got 2 questions after your Texas Tech fans.
Okay. They try to fight people in the student section. They actually did start some fights, which I go, hey, you have to go back to Lubbock. So, like, I don't really care what you think. You have to go live in Lubbock for, the rest of your life. So I don't really care. Brian, what are your questions?
1, have we heard anything from our big boy 3-point shooter?
I don't know.
Not in a while. That was just the beginning of a season.
I think that was
Cinderella story.
I honestly haven't looked him up since then. I forgot he existed until you just said something. He's doing well. Maybe he's taking like 33s a game. I just have not looked him up at all.
Fair enough. 2, you mentioned kicking people in the balls. Do we have a Duke white boy syndrome update?
Yeah, he's so there's Cooper Flag and Con Newpel, and they are both white boys of Duke, and they have 2 white boys. They're
dangerous.
both really nice, and they just seem like good boys. And I've seen nothing so far that would indicate the Duke white boy syndrome is set in on either of them.
So is this like, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks? Is this like if you have 2 Duke white boys, you have no Duke white boy syndromes?
Honestly, that actually might be a great theory to investigate. Because usually there's only like one Duke white boy. He's the boy, and that's the bad boy. You got Filipowski, you got Reddick, you got not Hunter Dickinson. There are other ones.
Allen.
Grayson Allen.
Christian Leitner.
I hate Christian Leitner. There's other ones who I'm going to forget right now because I'm very bad with names. They're usually the only one who's like the guy, and now you're kind of seeing that maybe they have 2 guys. That's actually a really good theory. I'm gonna have to investigate that further. So maybe that's why. But yeah, no, I said February. It's a long. I was about to say it's a
It's a
long
long
month.
month. Well, it's the shortest month.
I was
but
about to say.
there's a lot of month left.
I was about to say, yeah, it's a long month. It was like, shit, it's actually the shortest month. And we're not even in a leap year. So we got, what, today's the 5th? We got 23 more days in hopes that he can kick it. And I mean that, like, actually, hopefully he can kick it. Second, two more things. Iowa State, what happened?
Sorry. This is very funny.
They're bad now. I think they lost 4 out of their last 6. They lost at Hilton Head, which is crazy. They actually lost at Hilton Head, I believe, the same day UH lost at Houston, which never happens. And Kansas also lost that day. So the top 3 seeds in the Big 12 lost. Listen, I still think probably the SEC is the best basketball conference. With that said, Big 12 is right behind them, if not maybe a little bit better. There's a lot more chaos in the Big 12 right now. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with Iowa State. TJ Otzelberger, they don't have any, I'm not going to say they don't have any passion, but they don't play like they care, which is kind of weird because that's like their whole thing, especially at Hilton Head. And last thing, Arkansas versus Kentucky. Arkansas and Calipari saved up all their like stamina, all their strength to just beat Kentucky. Because I think they're 1-6. Maybe I don't know what they are now, but they were like 1-6. They lost to LSU, who's 1-7. And then they came out and just beat the shit. They not beat the shit, but they double digited Kentucky, which, you know, whatever. Whatever. They probably won't make the tournament, so who cares? But it's just funny to see. Calipari he's still a little bit of himself in there. All right, so moving over to hockey real quickly to talk about the Maple Leafs. I've learned that there is a controversy surrounding my Maple Leafs. Remember when I told you in the beginning of beginning of this like journey, this hockey journey, I talked to a friend and he compared the Maple Leafs to the Dallas Cowboys. Turns out it was actually very true because Connor McDavid came after the Maple Leafs. Not like came out. It was just do some good banter. Apparently, every Saturday in Canada, they have hockey night in Canada. And usually the Maple Leafs are the ones featured. So they play at 7 p.m. Eastern time all the time, which means that the Oilers, because they were playing in Edmonton, had to play at 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is apparently not a good thing, as I've learned from this. And so apparently, like Michigan and Ohio State don't play in the dark at the end of the season. The last 3 games of the season, like the Cowboys get featured all the fucking time on TV for some reason, especially 4 o'clock where the sun comes in. Apparently the Maple Leafs also had that issue where they get featured every Saturday at the same time, which some could see as maybe a little bit of an advantage that they know every week which time they're going to play. At the same time, like Connor McDavid said, he likes that more. It's just kind of what you do as a hockey player. Couple updates on my guys. Joseph Wall, I apologize for the slander that you weren't as good as I've lost his name. I'll think of it at some point. Sorry. Oh, Solars. There we go. I figured it out. I remember when he played the Oilers, he stopped 45 of 48 shots, and it's 94% save percentage, which is insane. So my apologies to you. You're still not as good as Solars, but you're good still. Jake McCabe shut down Connor McDavid. I don't know hockey. I know who Connor McDavid is. So I imagine that's a good thing. If I know your name, that means you've done well. And William Nylander has his first hat trick in 8 years, actually last night. The Maple Leafs are 32, 19, and 2 right now with 66 points. They are second in the Atlantic Division behind the Panthers. Brian, before you give your update, I just want to let you know the Four Nations Hockey or whatever, they released who the captain and the assistant captains are. One of the assistant captains is Cale Makar. So all hail Cale. From Canada.
Speaking of all hail Cale, he tied for 16th in point leader in the nation as a defender, which is pretty cool. And we're currently sitting at 31-22 and 2 with 64 points. We're 2 points behind the Wild. So we're in 4th place in the Central Division, which means we're still not a playoff team. Nathan McKinnon still leads the league, but only by 1 point at recording on February 5th. With 80, he leads the league, but he's only up by 1. And then all hail Cale. That's really all I got this week.
Sick. Time to move on to the Super Bowl no one wanted, except if you live in Philadelphia and Kansas City, both Missouri and Kansas. So I will say I don't remember much of the NFC or AFC Championship because I was having an allergic reaction during them, unbeknownst to me. So I remember some things, but I will say that I am sad that we did not get the Bills Commanders Super Bowl we all wanted. I am sad to see Josh Allen despondent on the sidelines, and also quickly, after the divisional round when Lamar lost, he ran up to Josh Allen, gave him a big hug, a big smile, whatever. Good at sport. He's a sportsman. And then after the AFC Championship game, Patrick Mahomes comes over, just looks angry. Mahomes and Allen don't like each other, it seems, for like probably obvious reasons, because this is the Warriors Rockets of the NFL right now, where as much as we like to pretend that at some point the Bills are going to pass the Chiefs, it's never going to happen.
It's just not happening.
The child sacrifice will continue until morale improves. And so I don't know. I'm not like, I made the joke. I think I told you in our group chat, I was like, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl this year. Obviously lying, because I'm going to watch the Super Bowl no matter what, but it just feels inevitable what is going to happen come Sunday.
Yeah. I was actually not really cheering for the Commanders to go to the Super Bowl because I knew the Commanders, their magic had to run out eventually. And it's exactly what happened against the Eagles. So I don't think if the Commanders made it to the Super Bowl, I think the Bills or Chiefs were going to win outright. So it was just, so I'm glad the Eagles made it for a competitive sense. I did want the Bills though. I thought Bills Eagles would be two insane fan bases going at each other. And New Orleans would have a really, really, really wild atmosphere. But yeah, we didn't get it. We get the rematch of Chiefs Eagles, the rematch no one wants unless you're from Philadelphia or from Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas. Either one, you're right. But it's still the Super Bowl. People that are saying they're not going to watch it are full of shit. I'm going to watch the hell out of it. I've got a lot of reasons to watch the hell out of it. We'll get to that later, but it'll be a good game. This should be a fun game. It's two high-powered defenses though, so that's going to be interesting. I have less hope this year than I did a couple years ago though for the Eagles. The Eagles have a better defense than I think they did a couple years ago, but outside of Barkley, their passing game has not been outside of Barkley, their offense hasn't been blowing people away in my opinion. But Jalen Hurts he's a really good quarterback. He hasn't had the best 2 seasons like ever, but he's really good. And I think if Barkley being there is going to fix the situation, the run situation that they had in the last Super Bowl. So I don't know, maybe they show out and they get it done. But the Chiefs open as a 1.5 point favorite, which is closer than I thought it would be. I thought they'd be a 3 point favorite. So Vegas has these teams pretty close at least.
I don't mean to dash your hopes, Brian, but the Chiefs have the 4th best run defense in the NFL this season. Not to say that Saquon and Jalen Hurts can't get past that, but to say that, again, like I said, the child sacrifices will continue to morale improves. It seems like the kryptonite, the foil of the offense of the Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts, I think had 2 rushing touchdowns in the NFC Championship, and Saquon he didn't have many yards. He had 3. Okay, he had 3.
No, they each had 3.
They each had 3. Okay. Saquon had 3 after that first run, by the way, which that was the incarnate of the Stephen A. and Sean Hannity meme, where it's like I've already pictured myself as the smug Stephen A. and you as the grimacing Sean Hannity. It's like I've already pictured you as the 18-play Commanders and myself as the 1-play Saquon Barkley. I think if we're talking matchups, if the kryptonite for the Eagles this year may be a good run defense, which who knows? Saquon could pull out. He hurdled someone backwards. Okay, I'm not going to sit
never count this man out.
Yeah, I mean he can do really anything he wants at this point. But if we're talking about like the foil of the offense of the Eagles, the Chiefs defense actually might be a good foil for them, which does not bode well because no matter how badly the Chiefs offense performs, Patrick Mahomes can always throw an 11-yard touchdown while falling. And that just seems to be something he can just do no matter what forever. You can blame the refs all you want. You can blame whoever you want for anything. But the thing is, again, I will bring this up this week and next week after they win. The child sacrifices will continue till morale improves. And that includes Patrick Mahomes just doing whatever he feels like because he's magical. And I hate it. And Chris Collinsworth is bricked up on a Sunday night. And so is Tony Romo. And so will every quarterback lover in America. Yes.
So good news is that Fox has the game, which means it's going to be Brady. The bad news is it's going to be Brady over Greg Olsen. As a Brady lover, Greg Olsen, in my opinion, is my favorite color commentator in the game right now, and it sucks that he got demoted for Brady. Not saying Brady won't be great down the line, but Greg Olsen is top of the game, and it sucks that he's not going to be doing the Super Bowl that I know of. But so at least we won't have to deal with Collinsworth, and we won't have to deal with Romo sucking off Mahomes. So that's something. It's kind of a win.
With that said, Jim Nantz won't be calling the Super Bowl, which is always sad for me as a UH alum and also a Jim Nantz lover. Every year we get less and less.
Buck. Oh man, Joe Buck. Joe Buck has turned into my. Sorry to interrupt. Joe Buck has probably turned into my favorite play-by-play across all sports.
No.
I miss him in baseball a lot. Football, he's made Monday Night Football so much better.
Yeah, everyone who has like the Joe Buck take, like I hate Joe Buck is cringe at this point because like I've liked Joe Buck. As I've grown older, I think as like a teenager, I hated Joe Buck because it was cool to hate Joe Buck. But as I've gotten older, I've been like, oh, actually, he's like really good at his job. Probably in the beginning, he was not, the Red Sox, the David Ortiz home run in, I think, 04, just in, I don't know, maybe it was 04, maybe it was 03. It was one of those 2 years where he's like, oh, it's a home run. And it's like, hey, Joe Buck, can you show some enthusiasm? Now it feels like he really elevates the game with his commentary, which is relatively hard to do with a lot of some commentators just don't do that. So I am happy to have Joe Buck in any call he wants at this point. I prefer if maybe Fox signed him to like a 1 month deal in October, but that will never happen.
Yeah, oh man, if he was doing and yes, it is partially because we won our first World Series with him on the call, and the second one, I believe.
Yeah,
I won't swear to the second one. I don't think it was him actually, but that might have been. Anyways,
is this his second season at ESPN?
Yes.
Yeah. So he was. I don't know if he'd left yet. I don't know when his tenure ended, but
I don't remember. But he was definitely the first World Series for sure. Right side could do it.
Yeah, that's Joe Buck. That was
that
was number one. That was number one. So I was trying to picture the call for Tucker catching the ball, and I can't picture the call at all. I'm gonna have to go watch the final out afterwards and figure out who it was. So I feel like it was Joe Buck, but I could be so wrong. The right side could do is just really sticks in my mind forever. So thank you, Joe Buck, for that moment.
Yeah, but back to the game. So, like I said, we won't have a dick sucking contest about Mahomes. But honestly, like it's hard to argue against Mahomes anymore. Like it's so hard to do. And honestly, and to play devil's advocate here, the refs they get some calls. Don't get me wrong, but they don't get everything.
No,
they don't get everything. It's not like the refs are completely changing the game. And they're just putting the Chiefs are putting themselves in such good position that a free 15 yards like that makes it seem like holy shit. They did all this and they got 15 yards. No, but they're putting themselves in position to win. And it's just the Brady hater or the Brady lover in me is just sad to see it happen, but it's hard to argue against Mahomes anymore. Now, that being said, if they lose the Super Bowl, it's going to be hate talk the entire time. It's going to be wonderful.
Okay, so I hate them about to have to do this, but I'm going to give the refs something real quickly. That Josh Allen first down, there's not enough evidence for me to overturn it if I was watching it from the angles because he was covered. Now, with that said, I would have been happy if they went the other way, but there was just not enough evidence given the situation, given the looks, and like I hate all the refs all you want. They do have to make like kind of the correct call given the rule book. The rule book is you have to have enough evidence to overturn the call, and there just wasn't. There was nothing that said he got that first down.
You know what would have been better than not leaving it in the hands of the refs? Because the Bills left in the hands of the refs. Yeah. Hey, the first 3 times you've done the QB sneak behind the left guard and it hasn't fucking worked. Maybe change it up. Because I think it was either 3 or 4 times that the Chiefs basically just stopped the tush push essentially, but for the Bills behind the left guard, it didn't work and they refused to adjust. That is bad coaching.
Yeah, I mean, even in my state of allergic reaction, warts on my face, stuff on my face, not realizing what was going on, like feeling high and unknowingly what the problem was. Even I was like, Sean McDermott, can you call a pass like that's not behind the line of scrimmage, please? It felt like every single call was behind the line of scrimmage. It was going to be it was a very conservative play. And the thing with, I think maybe what happened, and this is just my like 4K brain, not 4K, I don't know, 4 IQ brain, is that after that first series where Josh Allen just looked not good, he looked beside himself, he looked nervous, he looked a little panicky, he wasn't throwing the ball well, he was starting to look really off.
He was overthrow, underthrow.
Yeah, it was a weird part. Like that's not Josh Allen. And I think probably the nerves, it's got to some point where it's like, I've lost to these guys 3 times, or this will be the 4th time since January 2021. I have to beat them. Maybe Sean McDermott said, hey, let's go a little conservative with our play call. Let's not make Josh have to do everything. The problem is when you have Josh Allen on your team, you kind of have to make him do a lot. And he just didn't do that. So going back to the refs real quick, the whole thing with the Commanders of, hey, we'll just give them a touchdown. They can do that. It is in the rule book. They have refs technically have like overwhelming power to do a lot of things. If something's like patently unfair. The last time it was called, I think, was in 1960. Not in the NFL, in the NCAA. It's never been called in the NFL. But just for the record, Commanders, you cowards, you should have just gone. Like, just keep doing
kept doing it.
Like, listen, they're going to score the touchdown. Like, we all know they're going to score the touchdown because they're on the 1-inch yard line, and they're going to rush it in. Just at some point, please just keep doing it and see if the refs have to make the call. It's like you test the courts sometimes to see if a law is okay, or like see if you can get away with stuff. Just test the refs, see what they can get away with.
So, to go back to McDermott real quick, as a person that loves coordinated attacks so much, he sure as shit didn't have one for the Chiefs, and it was sad to see. There you go. That's just wanted to throw my little 9/11 joke in there.
I mean, he was I'm trying to think of like a very uncoordinated attack, but he was like I don't know, the American Army in Vietnam. No, that's not even a good one. But yeah, no, I was confusing. I was lost by the decision he made. It's like Yugi forfeiting. That one time.
I was racking my brain. I know. I was racking my brain.
It's like Yugi forfeiting, where you don't understand why he did it, but he had a good reason to do it nonetheless. But yeah, no, it wasn't a fun game to watch as a person who hates the Chiefs. At some point, I probably will come like I did with Tom Brady in the Patriots, where I came around and was like, yeah, I'm never going to see this again. Turns out I would, like, the next year. So maybe at some point I'll come around and be like, hey, I want the Chiefs to win. The problem is just not – I'm writing a blog about this right now. The problem with the Chiefs is they think they're trying so hard to be the good guys. Like, the thing with the Patriots is they knew they were the bad guys, and they acted like the bad guys. And, like, they weren't – I don't know if Tom Brady did a commercial until, like, he retired. He did crypto.com or whatever.
I think he did some on the Bucks, but that's about it.
Yeah, like he was on the Bucks at least. Like at that point, it was like
he had more fun on the Bucks
for
sure.
Yeah, because he didn't. I don't think he cared as much anymore. It was like I'm having fun now. This is like my retirement team. The thing, I don't care about the fumble Ruski, Andy Reid. I can't hear that again, or I'm going to like shoot my TV. Again, not to bring up Mason the numbers, but it feels like subliminally message through my TV every week while Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Jake from State Farm yell at me about some stupid fumble Ruski. I can't do it anymore. And the thing is, I don't want to see them anymore. Like, say what you want about Travis Kelce. I don't want to see him on TV anymore. I'm just tired of it. And I think they want to be the good guys so badly. And the problem is you have to embrace the hate. You have to be like the Houston Astros and kind of embrace the hate a little bit and be okay with it. You have to be like the Patriots and embrace the hate. You have to be like the Warriors and embrace the hate. If you're going to be a dynasty, you have to be hateable. And they want so badly to be the good guys, and they just aren't.
We've talked about dynasties before and that they're always fun in retrospect. And I don't think that's not going to be the case here. I think 5 years from now, we're going to look back and those Chiefs teams were fucking loaded. Best coach teams I've ever seen. Holy shit, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are the number 2 QB tight end combination of all time.
Number one's Aaron Hernandez and Tom Brady, right?
You got half of it right. But I think Dynasty, just like the Warriors, just like the Patriots for a lot of people, it's going to be a lot more fun in the rearview mirror than it is now, but it is what it is, man. Like, it's either, we'll know Sunday. It's either going to be, I will say one other thing. I feel like KC fans are so fucking annoying. Like, more than Warriors fans were, more than Patriots fans were, more than dare I say it, Yankees and Dodgers fans are. They're just so entitled, and then the fact that they keep on trying to make themselves the underdogs, and the stupid meme where it's just like, oh, watching a game, I can't wait to watch my favorite team. I'm gonna kill myself. Oh, hey, we won, dude. Fuck off. You can't use that meme when your team has won 4 Super Bowls. It's so dumb.
Not only 4 Super
Super
Bowls.
They've won 3. They've won 3. This is their 4th Super Bowl.
This is the problem. We don't even know at this point. We've forgotten because they just win so much. Like it's the whole, you can't post a meme if your team is like 13-1. Like that's just not, that's against the rules. Like,
you're not an underdog. Shut up.
Yeah. You've never been, no matter as much as Vegas wants you to pretend like you're an underdog, or you want to feel like you're an underdog. Again, the child sacrifice will continue until morale improves, and morale is like, oh, we're the underdogs. Like, no, you're not.
And they're the favorite of the game.
Yeah. Like, no one believes in us. No, everyone believes in you.
Shut up. Fuck off.
Again, when we started the season, we were doing our AFC West preview, and I went, it doesn't matter what we say; they're gonna win. And that wasn't a crazy call for the record. That's not like me being like, wow, I'm so smart. It's not like me choosing Ohio State to win the national championship. I have to get that one in there somehow. Sorry. I chose before Notre Dame. They played Notre Dame for the record.
That's fair. You chose at the beginning. You chose before the first round of the playoffs. So.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I don't. And the thing is, I don't think the Eagles are going to win. Like, as much as I want to pretend like I have some sort of hope, I don't think it's going to happen. It's just, I've seen Jerry West. I mean, if you want to actually big brain conspiracy this real quickly, Jerry West gave the NFL or licensed the NFL to have the rights to the 3-peat. If you want to like conspiracy brand this a little bit pre the Super Bowl and just say maybe the NFL wants to some return on their investment, maybe I don't know how much Jerry West asked. The Jerry West is not Jerry West. Who am I thinking of? Who has 3-peat? It's not Jerry West. It's Pat Riley. I've been saying Jerry West this entire time.
Yeah. I
don't know why I said Jerry West.
I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, no, my bad. I've been saying Jerry West. But no, if big brain, Pat Riley has the 3-peat. NFL's paid for the 3-peat logo or license and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Roger Goodell, who knows how much Pat Riley made you pay for that? Probably a lot. If you want to return on your investment somehow, and you probably have clothes already made with it, so you have to pay him somewhat. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm going to that game ready with a narrative. Right now I'm ready with a narrative, and I have no stake in this game other than I hate the Chiefs.
All right, then, Jordan. Let's hear the official score prediction.
Can I just say, I know the Chiefs are going to win. I'll do 27-21.
Okay. I'll go 31-24.
Okay.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah. I don't think either of us are going to choose the Eagles. As much as we, in our heart of hearts, want to, there's just no world where we do it. Also, before we end the talk about football, I'm going to talk about the Texans. So we have some Texans stuff to talk about. Number one, we hired Nick Cayley, whichever. Nick Cayley. Sorry, not Coley. As the offensive coordinator. I'm feeling okay. I like it. I will say he's from the Belichick tree. And
Belichick and Sean McVay.
McVay, if you look at the Seahawks and the Bears, it doesn't always mean good things. So maybe I'm a little pessimistic because I don't trust the Belichick tree or the.
Can I give you one more little stipulation?
Yes.
About him.
Yes.
He was a passing game coordinator for the Rams these past couple of years, I believe, which means the Cooper Kupp, the Puka Nacua, all the stuff you've seen out of Stafford, he was the coordinator. So not the offensive coordinator, but the passing game coordinator or whatever it is.
I think I feel good just because it's not Bobby Slowick, and it literally, I think I would take.
Cannot be worse.
I would take literally a small child over Bobby Slowick. A small child he's a little shaky on shape still. I take him over Bobby Slowick. But I'm feeling optimistic, but I also, given how the Belichick tree works out sometimes where no one's really come from that. I look at you, Bill O'Brien, our shared hatred of him.
Mike Vrabel.
Okay. That's actually very fair. Yeah, I'll give you that for a second. We'll see how he does with the Patriots, though. But I'm feeling a little bit better. But unlike Cole Popovich, who's now our offensive line coach, who was our assistant offensive line coach, and
can't be worse.
Can't be worse. Actually, I did. So there
Could be better.
It could be a lot. So I looked. There was a chart I saw. It was the x-axis was it was pressures over expectation. So like the number of pressures over the expected given the play, and then the y-axis was yards before contact. Show how good your offensive, how good your pass protection is and how good your run protection is. Texans were second worst in that.
Both?
But given the chart, they were just second worst.
Fuck.
It was like 1.35 yards before contact and 0.1575 pressures over expectation.
It can't be worse.
It can't be worse. It actually, theoretically it could, Brian. Actually, even the chart, it could be much worse, but not much worse. So it's just
can't be much worse.
It can't be much worse.
Poor CJ.
There's a new stat that came out. I saw this guy created a new stat, this is the kind of shit I live for. It is the opponent adjusted situational impact score, or OASIS. It's like EPA, expected whatever EPA is. It's like EPA, except it's adjusted the opponent in the situation to show, hey, like EPA just kind of shows like what could it be? What could the expected yards be? Or what could the expected yards after the play or for the play be? Whereas this kind of distills it down to like, hey, if you're playing the Chiefs and it's like 2nd and 15 in like this third quarter, that's different than if it's like a blowout game. Give you some hope. Texans are above average in defense, just a little below average in offense. So it's not like the worst.
Mediocrity is what we shoot for.
Yes, and it still goes to the playoffs. So thank you, AFC South, for being as bad as the AL West.
Can't be worse.
Can't be worse. So that's all I have for the football this week. We'll have maybe more next week. Brian, do you have what kind of color Gatorade you think it's going to be?
I've got all this, buddy. All right. So I went 13-7 for all the playoff games. So I'm going to ruin that record by all these bets. National anthem over 2 minutes. National anthem over 2 minutes.
Who's singing? Who's singing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just saw it over. I took it. Chiefs money line. Chiefs Eagles over 48.5. 60-yard field goal made. Over 2.5 players to attempt a pass. Any player to have 125 receiving yards, that's a long shot. Any QB to throw for 300 yards, that's a long shot. Defensive special teams, touchdown. Penalty yards, this is the big one. Penalty yards over 79.5 yards. You just need a couple pass interferences and a couple personal fouls, and we're golden. And there will be a doinked on a miss kicked. Those are my big bets that I've got. I've got a couple small parlays stats, but I'm not going to give those out.
No horse collar this year?
No, I couldn't find it.
Okay. Quickly, John Batiste is singing the national anthem. Given what I like John Batiste, I think the over will hit. So that's my expert analysis real quickly.
Orange and blue Gatorade. They were both plus 500, so I put a little bit on both.
Okay, cool. I like how you picked tails as well. Tails never fails. Congratulations on that hitting. I'm excited. Again, the horse collar thing last year was so exciting, so I can't wait to see what your bets hit this time. Brian, do you have anything else?
No, I'll send you the full list so you can watch along and see what I'm gunning for. But no, that's it for me. I'm excited. I'm glad we're back.
Yeah.
Week off, but I'm glad we're back.
Yeah. I actually want to shout out Andre Howard III, who's a little boy from Philadelphia who was he was in the area where that plane crashed. He protected his sister. He saved his sister's life. Good for him. The first question that came out of his brain surgery was, hey, is my sister alive? The answer was yes. Second question, did I miss the Super Bowl? And I missed the Eagles Super Bowl, which I want to say that's a football guy right there, brother. Yeah.
You got to win it for him.
AJ Brown, his thing said he's going to bring him some hardware. AJ Brown, please do. We're all, there's those TikTok edits to Black Hole Sun, wherever it's like, the Chiefs, it's like Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid versus every single company in the world, every single sports team in the world, Jalen Hurts, Saquon, AJ Brown. So please, for the love of God, save us from the tyranny. Last time they tried and they did. Last Super Bowl they won, they did. Stop the Patriots three-peat. So if they can do it again.
I'll tell you after the podcast. Sorry.
Okay, cool. Brian, where can the people find you?
You can find me across all social medias at Auric Polaris, especially at twitch.tv/Auric Polaris, AURICPOLARIS. I'm playing some Mario Party with Neil and Christian on Friday, and then I'm doing a Nuzlocke randomizer Soul Link with my top mod Moon throughout the weeks, and that's gone painfully as expected.
Yeah, no, you're back to streaming. I'm very happy to see that. You can find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter, and then find me at Moonstamp across the board, which is TikTok, as supplies last, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome back. We'll be here next week for a Super Bowl recap. Go Birds. See you next week.
Stay beautiful.